All right. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. So, 3 minutes. Um, I need to invite one or two persons. So, good to have you join. My name is Mark Onoja, and you're welcome to the Growth Room, our weekly live webinar. So, we'll be starting at exactly 3 minutes, right? And so I just need to invite one or two persons to join here and we'll get started. So thank you. If you're just joining, or you're replaying this later on, so just you can skip to the next 5 minutes so we could get started. So uh, yeah, so today we want to talk about how to raise capital for your business. Um, you will enjoy today. Today's class is it's good. I'm even looking forward to it because okay, my connection is a little bit unstable. Okay, it's not stable back. Okay, okay. Um, this will do. 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 We are talking about capital. Okay, need to send some broadcast messages to some group chats I belong to, and once I'm done with that, I will get started. All right, if you're just joining, welcome. Um, my name is Mark Onoja, and this is the Growth Room. And today we're going to have an interesting time because we're going to be speaking about raising capital for your business. So you want to you want to stay in and really catch up with this because I'll be sharing on how to really raise capital. So capital is usually something that causes issue when it comes to um, startup small businesses, right? You want to grow, you want to scale, you would need capital. So today is about that, and of course, I'm trying to invite persons within my communities to join. Once this is done, I would start the class. So stay tuned. This is going to be a very good class that it's going to help you with your business, right? So I have a live section. Okay, good evening. All right. Okay, fine. So if you're just joining, welcome. My name is Mark Onoja, and we're going to start in the next 2 minutes. Um, I need to just send some broadcast messages to some persons, right? Yes. I am from home, so if you hear some voices behind me, just know that those people are part of my board of directors. So my kids, yeah. So one is already speaking already. Okay, fine. So we'll be starting in 2 minutes time. Just some last broadcast to share, then we can get started. So if you're just joining, thank you very much. Kindly drop in the comment section, drop your name, where you are joining from, and what's your expectation from today's class. Your name, where you're joining from, and what's today's what's your expectations from today's class? So what's your name? Where are you joining from? And what's your expectation from today's class? Once all of these things are done, then we can get started. We can really get started with today. So your name, where you're joining from, and what's your expectation from today's class? All right. I think I am audible, right? Because it's already showing the notification here. Sorry, if you can hear me, just type I, so I know I'm very audible. Then we can get started. So if you can just hear me, just type I. I type I in the comment section. I think I can see some I there. No, I've not seen anyone yet. So if you can hear me, just type I. Ah, okay. Link continue your show. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Or good evening, sir. But good afternoon from your location. All right, fine. Own can strategically raise capital in quick manner. Okay, no problem. Thank you. We'll sort that out today. Okay, so welcome everyone. My name is Mark Onoja, and this is the Growth Room. So the Growth Room is a platform where I used to help people grow their business. Right. I currently run the startup place. My shirt is not really big for you to see. So I currently run the startup place with my dad, and it's a consulting firm. But the Growth Room is something I created where I normally teach people on how to start, grow, and scale their business. And every week I run a webinar, a YouTube live, actually. Webinar is a YouTube live where I just share with persons on how to grow their business. And when you attend the growth room, the whole testimonial that normally comes from the growth room is that at the end of the growth room, you would have gotten either a new insight, a new strategy, on how to actually grow your business or actually start that business that you're looking at starting, or to grow that business you're looking at growing, or of course to multiply that business, like scaling. So today we're going to talk about raising capital for your business. Now, capital is something that is very daunting for a lot of businesses, and a lot of business owners find it very hard to raise capital. And we are going to, I'll try as much as possible within the space of less than an hour to share with us how to raise capital for our business. Now, one of the things you need to also note when it comes to raising capital for your business is this, that you don't need money to start a business. Right? I wish I could tell people, okay, Ezeke from Lagos, thanks for joining. Open to any possible ways of raising funds for business. So you don't need money to start your business. You need money to grow your business. So we're going to talk about how to start a business without money. Then we can then talk about how to use money to grow your business. So you don't necessarily need money to start your business, but you need money if you want to grow your business. Once you say any business that is growing, an existing business growing, money is part of what is involved. Apart from strategy and execution, there's money that is involved. But when you see somebody starting a business, the person necessarily doesn't need money to start a business, right? So I am talking from the experience, from the level of an expert in this, because I work with startup and small businesses, and I've helped a lot of startup and small businesses raise funds. As of the last time I checked, the funding I've really facilitated and done documents for is over a billion naira, like 1.5 billion so far. So I have seen people raise funds. I have seen people not being able to raise funds. So we're going to really talk about it. All right. So let's get started. So let's start from the perspective of you starting a business. Aisha Mutala from Kasima, thank you for joining. So let's start from the perspective of raising capital, right, for starting a business. So we're starting with this perspective of I want to raise a capital to start a business. Okay, so let's get started. So, like I said, if you want to start a business, you don't need money. But you need money to grow your business. So if you want to start a business, you don't need money. And I'm going to prove that to you. We're going to talk about how to start a business without money. It's the first thing to learn about capital. When you learn that part, then you can learn the other one, right? One of my board members is here. Adasa, yeah, disappear. Go to the room. Okay, fine. So let's get started. Um, how do you start a business without money? So that is the first thing. Because I'm saying right now, you don't need a business, you don't need money to start a business, and you want to start a business, and you need funding, right? So, my advice usually is that you don't start business with money. Business, basically, you start it with idea, right? So I'm going to show you on how to break down that idea so that you can start a business without money. There's no business on the face of the earth that you want to start that you need money. You can start without money. So you start with an idea, because not most times businesses comes as a result of us getting an idea, either an idea to solve problem or an idea of improving on a current solution. So when you see somebody doing a business or starting a business, the person is actually bringing a new product and services into the market that solves problem, or the person is trying to improve on something existing. Uber, Netflix was an improvement of what was existing. Uber, right? Uber is an improvement of the yellow cab. Netflix was an improvement of Blockbuster slash video rentals that we do in this part of the world in Africa. Those are those improvements, right? Facebook was kind of new, but Facebook was an improvement of i5. So let us say something like Windows, right? Windows, Microsoft. Microsoft was new because they brought a value to the marketplace that provided solutions for persons. So if you want to grow, if you want to start a business, you're either starting a business as per I am bringing a new solution to the marketplace, or I am working on an existing solution and I'm improving it. So that is what you need to do if you want to start a business. So starting a business means that we are actually bringing a new solution to the marketplace, something new, or we're improving on what is existing. Most times, I prefer you improve on what is already existing. The reason is that because you already know there is a market available, so you just look for a way to serve people faster, better, cheaper, more efficient, and you can take some customers from existing people, and you're already in business. So you need to always ask yourself this question: am I, when you are starting a business, am I bringing something new or I'm improving? Most times I prefer you improve, not to bring something new. Because bringing something new, sometimes the market would not be ready for you and you will spend funds and you don't really need that have that money. All right. So if you want to start a business without money, number one, you should be working on a business idea, or you should be working on a market that is already existing and improving on a current value in the marketplace. So you are not just starting, like you are not just bringing a new idea down from your mind or from heaven, wherever you're getting the idea from. You are actually working on a current idea and you are improving it. Now, that is a very good way for starting a business without money, because I just need to improve what is already existing. And a simple way for improving it, I would say in three ways, you can start business without money. The first one is to improve on the current value in the marketplace. And the best way to do it is that you just look for somebody that is doing something and ask yourself, how can we make it better, cheaper, faster, more efficient? So that is very easy to do. To make it better or cheaper or faster or more efficient, it just depends on what to do. We can take a lot of the other topics on the other live session where we can talk about different type of mass market, the mid-income earner, the high-income earners, on how to basically create market segmentation and do different products and stuff. But for now, just know if you want to start a business without money, number one, it should be an existing market and you're improving on that value. Number two, I'll share of three ways. Number two is that if you want to start a business without money, so most times when people want to start a business, they're starting with something very big, like a product, one big product they want to bring to the marketplace. My advice for you is that don't start with a big product. Start with a service, not a product. Now, a product means that I would have to go and buy this phone, buy bulk, and sell, right? If you don't have bulk cash, so my phone, when I bought it, it was like the total cost is a little bit half a million, right? I think it's like 600K as at the time when I was recording this stuff, right? When I bought it. Now, say you want to go into phone sales, you want to buy an iPhone 13 and be selling. If you want to buy 10, so that is like 650K times 10. How much is that? That is 6.5 million, right? So you need 6.5 million to go into a phone business. And you don't even know when they are going to buy. So you have to do a lot of marketing because of your starting. But you can say, okay, instead of going to buy phones, buy products to sell, I can be repairing phones. I don't really need all of those things. Or I can look for somebody that is already selling phones. I don't want to share that right now. Oh yeah, you can look for somebody already selling phone and partner with the person, right? So I can say, I know person A. The person A does phone, sells phone. Yeah. So when the person needs customer, I get the customer. When I get the customer, I take the customer to the person. The person says and gives me a commission. They call it commission, right. So I stay in Lagos, Nigeria, and one of the places I like to buy my wares is Yaba Market. I just like buying clothes from Yaba. It's just sharp, just buy and just go, right. And but right now, I prefer for tailors to make my clothes for me. So I noticed when you go to Yaba, a lot of those guys that chase you around, or go to some markets in Nigeria. So a lot of those guys that chase you around, they don't have a shop. They just cash you as a customer, take it to somebody that has a shop, and they pay them commission. In fact, there's one of my customer, somebody that became my customer later. He told me that next time when you're coming, please, this boy should not follow you because I had to increase the amount of stuff I was selling for you. I think he sold the shirt to me. I saw then, like some years back, one shirt for like 5K. But he needed, but the cost of the shirt was for like 3K. Then some years back, almost 10 years now. So the cost of the shirt was like 3K, but you had to sell it for like 5K because he needed to sort two guys, 1,000, right? So I like, okay, no problem, that's fine. That is an insight. So you can partner with people that are already doing business and provide services for customers. So you either provide services for customers, or you partner with somebody already doing business and sell what they are selling. Then you can get your part. Selling is cheap, it's easy. You just use your internet and your data and post things online and learn how to talk to customers, and that is it. You are in business, right? So the first way is that you must always be working on something that already exists. Just improve on it. Number two is that you should partner with people, right? Right? You can partner with people, or you can provide services instead of doing products, right? And the third way is that if you want to start a business without money, is you need to look at your current market, right? You need to look at your current industry and ask yourself, what is our value chain? So I'm going to explain that. What is our value chain? So if you look at your value chain, you just need to ask yourself, most times for an ideal market, I'm using the word ideal. For an ideal market, the value chain is that there is the manufacturer, there's the wholesaler, all right, fine. So for yeah, we're back. My internet was having a little bit of fault. So I was saying that you need to look at your market, your current market, and ask yourself, what is my value chain in my industry? So let's take, for example, if you are into say interior design, right? If you look at the value chain of interior design is part of a value chain called real estate. And if you're looking at the real estate value chain, right, we have people that do land sales, we have people that do processing documentation. We have people that do construction. We have people that sell property. There are people that rent property. People that do facility management. People that move people goods, right? Move stuff. People that then do the interior design. Then people that, of course, do the consumption. I've mentioned like six or seven. Now, if you say you want to go into real estate and you're starting, you don't have funding, you can't just say you want to just go to real estate and go and start building houses. You need funding for that. You need funding. Development is not cheap. It's very expensive. You need funding for development. But you can start with selling properties for people. So you can look at your entire value chain. That I'm currently doing my MBA, and it's usually called backward integration or forward integration. So backward integration means I start and I keep on going back so that I will cut the supply chain from supplier. So you can start with just selling property, then you move towards doing rentals, right? To renting property, then you move towards doing facility management, then you open a real estate company, then you start doing development. I have a client right now that is from interior design, is not doing development. He just went back. So because from interior design, we're able to pull cash, pull network, have people that can be able to invest in his idea, and he started doing development. So he's already doing development, but he's also doing interior design. So he just went back. It's like a backward integration. So you need to study the value chain of your industry and say, where can I enter into that doesn't require funding? And I will move back strategically. and I will move back strategically. So if you like looking at starting a business without money, I've told you three ways. Number one, you need to start something that involves you improving, not um not developing something new, because most times you don't have the capital for that. Number two, you need to partner with people. Either you are providing services for people or you're helping them sell what they're selling, right? And number three, look at your value chain and ask yourself one question. How do I enter into this industry? And what is the place that has a low barrier of entry, especially barrier when it comes to funding and finance? It's like you want to go into oil and gas. You can't start by building a refinery like Dangote. You ain't got the cash. That is just the truth. There are a few people that have cash to be able to pull. I think Dangote's project was like almost 16 billion. It was 10 billion, it moved to 12, moved to 16. I think I ended up spending like $20 billion to do that. You ain't got that cash, right? Few people have that cash. In fact, a lot of Nigerian government, some banks had to really support him, right? Good after that, but you can start from somewhere. You start and say, okay, me for this stuff, instead of me to go and start looking at hiring an investor, I could start by being a manager, managing people's petrol station for them. Yeah, after you're managing people's petrol station for them, you get money. You can then start supplying people petroleum and stuff. So that is how you basically can do that. So that is a crash course for that. Now let's talk about raising capital to grow your business. Yes, today's class. That class was just an add-on. So let's talk about raising capital to grow your business. Now, if you want to grow your business, you need capital. And that is also truth. Now, how do you get capital to grow your business? I'm going to share on several ways you can get capital to grow your business. You ready? Yeah. So if you're just joining us, my name is Mark Onoja, and you are welcome to the Growth Room. So the Growth Room is a platform where I share with people every day, no, not every day, every Thursday by the hours of 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. GMT plus one. I share with people on how to start, grow, and scale their business, right, on my YouTube live. And every second Tuesday and fourth Tuesday of every month on mainland FM 98.3, I share on that between 11:30 to 12 noon. I also run that growth room. And of course, I'll be sharing the same topic with them next week, Tuesday. So you can also catch up and ask live questions then. Okay, fine. So we're talking about growing your business using capital, on how to raise capital to grow your business. So let's talk about how to raise capital. So the first primary way you raise capital to grow your business is idea. Yes, we're back to the word called idea. So there's somebody I respect very well. His name is Dr. Sam Adeyemi, and he made a striking statement one certain time. I attended one of his talk, right? Was it church then? Yeah, I think it was church. I was listening to one of his audio, and he said something. He said it was that when God was creating the earth, well, believe in God, yeah. And when God was creating the earth, God didn't have naira, he doesn't have dollar. So does it mean God was poor? No. So we believe that God spoke the earth into being, and words come from this thing called thoughts. Words are spoken thoughts. And thought, another word for thought is the word called idea. So what we see came from God's spoken word. And if the spoken word means that it's thoughts, right? So the beautiful thing we're seeing in this earth right now comes from the word called God's idea. So it means that if you want to raise capital, the first thing you should look at for is the word called idea. So idea is the most primary way you raise capital. In fact, it's the major way you raise capital is by idea. So you need an idea to raise capital. You don't really need capital to raise idea. So you need an idea to raise capital. So if you want to raise capital for your business, you first need an idea. You just need to ask yourself, how do we raise capital for your idea, for your business, for this business we're doing? And there's something I learned from Brian Tracy. And he said sometimes when you want to come up with ideas, or you want to come up with strategies or plan or an insight on doing something, take a sheet of paper and write 10 ways you can do that particular thing. 20 ways actually. That before you reach 20, you would have gotten the idea, right? The idea would have popped up. So the first one is to come up with an idea, because the idea you come up with, the idea can just be, I need to talk to someone, I need to bootstrap my business. We'll talk about all of those things. So you start with an idea. So the first way to raise capital for your business is idea. Now let's talk about the second way of raising capital for your business. So if you want to raise capital for your business, any business you are doing, the primary way for second way for raising capital for your idea, which is primary, and I suggest that for every startup and small business, is self-funding. Write it down. Self-funding. So you need to self-fund your idea. So if you want to raise capital for your business, you need to self-fund it. Now, how do you do this word called self-funding? Self-funding is very interesting. It means that you are going to raise that money that you need to grow your business. Right, yes. You will raise the money that you need to grow your business internally from yourself. So a lot of times, small startup and small business owners, they don't like that gist. They're like, how will I be the one to raise the money? Right? Why? Why should I be the one to raise the money? Yes, it's called self-funding. Now, why do I suggest self-funding? Because if you know, take for example, you are running a business and you need to raise 10 million naira. And currently, your revenue monthly is 2 million. And you want to do self-funding. And you said, okay, at the end of 1 year, I should have raised 10 million. And you are just doing 2 million. What you do is that you have to ensure that your income grows up. It's either you are saving 50-50%, which is almost impossible for a small business, or you have to work on yourself to increase your income, right? And that working on your business to increase your income makes your business grow. So I like that self-funding very well for a startup and a small business. So self-funding, right? Self-funding, right? So you raise it internally, number one, through self-funding. The second way is through your savings, your savings. So self-funding has to do with raising capital through looking at your business to improve it, right? They call it sometimes they call it growth hacking, right? So, but another way is to raise cash through savings, your savings as a business. So 2 months ago, we were able to buy, well, like I think like 4 laptops within a week. So we bought like 4 laptops within a week, 6 figures, 6 figures. So we bought like 4 laptops within a week. And I just looked at it. I like the reason why we're able to buy 4 laptops within a week as a firm, right? That it was mid of the month and we bought laptop, right? It was not like end of the month where our customer pay us on retainer or we had some projects we were doing. Was that we were saving money. I was consciously saving. In fact, I have some things that we want to do in the startup place next year, and I'm already saving towards all of them. All of them. I'm already saving towards it, right? I'm already saving towards it. So you need to have a good savings as a business person. That is how you raise capital. You need to save. So one is the internal part is to work on your business growth hacking. Work on your business to boost it, right? So you boost your business to grow. The other way is that you do savings. So you should have savings as a business person. Don't start telling me things that the money is not enough. It's a lie. The money is enough. You don't think the money is not enough. Open a separate bank account. So one of the things I did, okay, I'm not marketing them. Sycamore. So what I did is that was it Sycamore? Is it Sycamore? Yeah. It's not Sycamore I use. Let me call their names right. Hey, it's not Sycamore. What is the name again? Oh, hey, Oluwa. I forgot it. Optimus, yes, Optimus. I used Optimus. So what I did is I opened Optimus 100K with 500K. Network is bad. Network could be bad. So the 50K, yeah, welcome back, network. So the 50K, 100K you're putting, the 20K you're putting. At the end of the year, you discover that you have like a million plus or 2 million or 5 million in savings. If you have 5 million naira in savings, it is a very good one for you. It means that you have raised capital that you can use for your business. So we need to learn the whole act of savings because if you don't learn how to save as a business person, you can't actually grow. So you need to have that database of money, that financial database and that financial foundation. So one is that you get an idea. Second one is self-funding, and self-funding through two ways. Number one, you work on your business to ensure that you grow. So you are making 2 million naira per month. You need a 10 million naira to buy an asset. How do you do that? You can tell yourself, I'll do that within 1 year. So it means every month you must keep aside a million naira. So how do we keep aside a million naira? We need to increase from 2 million naira to maybe start doing 3 million or 4 million so that we can be saving 1 million naira down. When you do that, you have worked on your business. I start to raise capital by working on your business. I prefer that because your business ends up growing. The other way is to save. Okay, will start saving towards that. Businesses do that. You should do that. Businesses save towards doing that, right? So that's the second way. Third way, they are called angel investors, right? The third way is called angel investors. Now, angel investors are actually called, another word for family and friends are called angel investors. Those guys are sweethearts. So what's angel? Your social capital. So that is how you raise funding for your business, right? So through your friends and family, that is how you raise funding for your business. Let me repeat myself. You raise capital through friends and family. So how do you raise capital through friends and family? So let me give us an insight. The first primary ways that you need to understand when it comes to raising money from friends and family is the word called social capital plus integrity. You need to be someone that they can trust. That you're a man or you're a woman or a boy. No, there's no boy in this place. You're a man or a woman, a lady or a young man, a young mister of his or her words. So it means over time they have known you to be somebody that keep to his or her words. It's as simple as short as that. So people should be able to trust you because if they don't trust you as being somebody that can keep to his will, while somebody that has integrity, they will not release funding to you. And that's simple as short, right? So the first one is that integrity part. So you need to be somebody that has integrity. So if someone right now, you borrow money from your friend, 20K, and you will disappear. You're supposed to your WhatsApp status, or the person will chatting you up, you will not respond, or the person will calling you. You are it's not that 20K you just lost, you just lost the opportunity of later on getting more funding from people. So I had a friend that I know money recently, not some months ago. So me, my own personal value is this: I don't loan money that I am not willing to let go. Right? So I think I saw him yesterday and I was fine. I saw him yesterday. I didn't even think about it. It's my mind. I just went there, hey, this guy has not paid me my money. I was like, oh, well, okay. I will say greet him. I greet him every time we meet. So um, he loaned money and he told me he was going to pay. And the time came, he has just blanked out. He has just gone quiet. Well, I know he went quiet because I don't know whether I didn't want to pay back or stuff like that, but I just left it. I just left it. I just decided to leave it. But if he comes back and say he needs something bigger, I won't give him. Why? Because he has failed that test. So the money was not big, right? Just few thousands, right? But it is not that money, it's the opportunity that he has lost. So you should be someone that keep to your words. You take loans, you should pay back. So you have to have a good credit score, right? So the second way is that when it comes to friends and family, first one is to have good integrity and social capital, know people that can actually give you funds. Then the next way is that you should be able to get these words, have what they call equity contribution. So let me teach you how to get money from people. Now, if you go and meet somebody and say, I need a 10 million naira to do a business, don't tell them you need a 10 million naira straight. Tell them I need a 10 million naira, but I've been able to raise 2 million or 3 million. I just need the other seven back, the other 7 million. They would raise capital for you. Why? Because they will see that there's that seriousness that has to do with you. Never you go to raise capital from family and friends without your own contribution. So that's why savings is important. So if you tell somebody, I want to raise a 10 million, but I already have a 2 million or a 3 million that I've saved, I just need the other parts. They will take it more serious compared to somebody that just came, I don't have anything, no, please help me. Most times people will not help you like that, right? You must have something on ground. That's why it's good for you to save. You must have something on ground. You must have something on ground. Even me, I won't help if you don't have something. So if somebody comes to me, they need money for stuff, most times I have to ask them, what do you have? Your savings or stuff like that. They say they don't have anything. Instead of me, well, this one is not serious. It's just me. It's just me. That's how I deal with money. So when it comes to friends and families, angel investors, you need to have good social capital slash integrity, and you need to have your equity. Yeah. So let's get to the next way for raising capital for your business. So we've talked. The first one we talked about is idea. Second one we talked about is internally generated capital. Thirdly, we talked about from your friends and family. And number four, the fourth way you raise capital for your business is through investors. Not angel investors this time, but they call them institutional investors. Institutional investors. So when it comes to institutional investors, right, one of the things you need to note is that institutional investors provide capital in two ways. They do that through either doing what they call equity financing or debt financing. So there's equity financing and there's debt financing. So I'm going to explain the equity financing and the debt financing to us. You ready? All right. So let's move on. So the equity financing is this. I would give you money, but I'm going to own a stake in your business. That is equity. So I have an equity in your business. Debt financing means that I'm going to give you this money and you're going to pay back at a certain point in time with some certain interest that I will use to make as profits. So equity financing is this: you run a business and the business is valued at 10 million naira. Take for example, your business is valued at 10 million naira. I will give you a 2 million naira as an investment when you want to buy some things to run your business. But that 2 million naira I've given you means that I own 20% of that business. I won't get my 2 million naira back at a stretch, at a start, but I own 20% of that your business. So I am not like a shareholder. I can do what they call I can uh, be part of the board. I can make decisions as regards to the business. I am now a shareholder. And should in case in future you decide to sell the business, sell an asset, I have a stake in that, right? I have a stake in the business. So that is what is called equity financing. Now, debt financing means that, oh, your business needs 2 million. I give you 2 million, but you are going to return my 2 million naira back within 1 year, and you're going to do 40%. So 40% on 2 million is 800,000. So you will be giving me 2.8 million. So sometimes they do it on a that you pay at the end of the tenure of the loan that I've given to you, the financing. Or so for some persons, what they do is that they pay on a reducing balance. So they pay every other month and it keeps reducing. So you can look for institutional investors. Now, when it comes to looking for institutional investors, one of the things you need to note is this. Number one, your business must be fundable. And when it comes to a business being fundable, I will teach us that next week. So we'll talk about fundability next week. So how can a business become fundable? We're going to talk about funding next week, right? Very important. Now, that is one. Two is this, that one of the things you need to note is that you need to be careful what kind of investors you are bringing into your business. Now, hypothetically, I'm going to use the word hypothetically. I want to make a statement. So it's an hypothetical statement. It means that somebody once told me that taking money from investors is like getting in bed, meaning like you're having sex with a person, like sleeping with a person, right? So it's like that when it comes to raising capital. So you have to be careful the kind of person you take money from to run your business, not investor. Because I've seen somebody that investor was calling the person around 1 a.m. in the night. That was funny, but it's interesting and it happens, right? You don't want to get some poor or bad investor. So you need to be very careful. Do your own, because investors will do their due diligence. You too, like the startup small business owner, do your own due diligence. Who has the person invested in before? What was the outcome of that investment? What happened? This and this, that and that, right? So you just need to find out things for yourself so that you need to find that thing for yourself so that after this person invests in your business, it's going to be it's like you are entering into a like a partnership, like a marriage and agreement with the person. So you need to be very, very, very careful. So, all right, so we have institution investors, right? Then the next one, and I'm told you I'm going to talk to us about fundability next week, Thursday. Then the next way we get cash or we get capital for our business is through grants. I know a lot of startup and small businesses they like that, through grants. So grants given by the government of your home country and grants also given by, say, institutions that are into the development of startup and small businesses, right? So grants is good. Now, but I don't usually encourage startup and small businesses to go for grants. Why? Because sometimes it makes you lazy. It's free money, right? It's free money. Most times, some grants you don't pay back. Even if they say you should pay back, if you decide not to pay back, nobody's going to come and arrest you. It's just that you don't have access to more grants later on, right? But you need to grants should not be your first resort. It should be your last resort. Now, I'm not against you going for grants. Go for grants. Apply. Go for grants. Right? There are a lot of grants. There's the one that GIZ gave. Give there's Tony Limelu Foundation for grants. There are different grants. There are sustainability grants, green agriculture grant. A lot of grants, especially for women. I really don't know. God has just opened the what they call it, the file of women, and to bless them in this generation. So there are a lot of grants for women, but one of the things you need to be very careful about when it comes to taking grants is that it should be your last resort, not your first resort. Now, the reason for saying your last resort, not your first resort, is so that you don't get lazy. Sometimes I even prefer a startup and a small business to take a loan, yes, from an institution. Sometimes it keeps you on your edge when you know that you took 2 million naira and you need to pay back 3 million within 1 year. That money must come out. You must make that money come out, right? So, but if you take grants, we can relax a bit. So that's why most times when people invest into startups as equity, it's not all startups that grow because of that, except they are very hungry to grow. Because some of them just relax. They are not really pushing like that again. There's funding, right? So you can take grants from government. So, but you need to, it should not be your first resort, it should be your last resort. Then the final way for you raising capital for your business is you can talk to banks. So the first institution was normally institutions that invest in startup and small businesses, but this one you can talk to banks. Now, I'm not going to call any bank name, so I can really bash bank. Be very careful with bank. Why? Because those guys are called loan sharks. The interest rate of Nigeria is too crazy. And that is just the truth. Most bank, 30 something percent, 30 something percent, 30 something percent, right? So you need to be very careful for raising capital with a bank. Your business should have reached a point or you have the capacity to pay for it. Most times you drop a collateral, you may lose it. So you must have that capacity. You should have built your business to the point whereby you know that if you put 1 naira in, we're going to talk about it next week. You know how much you're going to make, and at a certain point in time, that money will come back plus interest, a good interest that can pay for that loan. If not for that, please run away from bank. So let's do a short recap on the ways you can raise capital for your business. The first one, when I say that is the most important one, in fact, is the one that you should look at to as a startup or a small business, is you can raise capital with an idea. So you should search for ideas that can help you raise capital. This is better. You should search for an idea that can help you raise capital, right? So, what idea do I have that would help me raise my capital? The idea can just be talk to some few persons. The idea can just be come up with a new product that can easily you can quickly sell like a cash cow and raise capital to do stuff. Now, the second way is for you to raise capital from internally. How do you raise capital internally? Simple and short. You rework on your business model to make sure you start making more money to get money for capital, or you save gradually towards them. Both ways are very good, right? Now, the third way is that you can raise capital from angel investors. These angel investors, another ways that we call them, another name for them is called family and friends, right? So you can look for family and friends that can invest in you. Like we said, you need to have integrity and you need to be somebody that has an equity contribution. Now, the third way you can raise capital is that you can use through institutions. Now, institutions here that invest in startup and small businesses, and um, these institutions I'm referring to are institutions that basically give you debt financing or equity financing. So equity financing is that they have a part in your business. Debt financing means that they give you the money, capital as a loan, and you would repay back with interest at a certain time. The equity financing is that how they make the money is that you sell your business and they call them that they exit, right? It's startup 10. Exit means they leave the business after they have made the money back, right? Then the next one after that is that you can get it through grants from the government or from institutions, from big institutions that do social economic initiative. Now, I say grant is good, but grant should be your last resort, not your first resort, because it can make you lazy. Ha. I'm just being sincere, right? Then lastly, you can raise it from banks, right? Banks are institutions that give loans to people. But I told you, banks, you need to be very careful with them because another word for bank is called loan shark. They are sharks. They are smelling blood and they will eat you up, right? I've seen people lose their property. I've seen people lose their cars. I've seen people lose their integrity because of raising capital from the bank, right? Okay. So guys, thank you very much for today. This is the end of the class. Next week we are going to talk about how to become fundable, right? How do you set up your business so that you can be funded, right? So people can actually invest in your business, right? So, any question? So if you have any question, can you just put it in the chat, comment after the video. Once I post it on YouTube, also too, if you have any question and you drop it in the comment, you can just tag me. I would come answer it. But if you have any question to do, you can post it on the comment. Now, while we're taking question, I in the next week Saturday, we have a training coming up. The training is called accounting for non-accounting small business owners, right? So we're going to be teaching small business owners how to market and not market and how to manage their income and manage their money and manage their revenue. So you should attend the class. The class is for 30,000 naira, but we're running a discount for 20,000 naira for the next 6 days. So it starts till 10th. By 10th, we'll be stopping it starting on the 13th. Yeah, it's starting on the 13th. So the class basically is going to run on online. It's an online class. It's 7 days. We do class for you every day, and we'll run you on how to manage your money, how to manage your tax, how to manage your expenditure, how to manage your income, how to manage your inventory, all of those stuff, how to use different kind of apps to manage your business. What are some financial terms you should know and you should get used to as a small business owner? So I'm going to drop my number in the chat. If you're interested in the class, you need to be interested in the class and attend it. 20,000 naira um, is a good investment for your business. So that's my number. Send me a DM on WhatsApp. So I will send you the details so that we can add you to the class. The class is filling up quick so that we can just log into it. So in the absence of any questions so far, this is 7:49. Yeah. So like I said, it's within the hours of 7 and 8, usually within the hour, right? I don't want to take too much of your evening. So thank you very much for attending. Do share this video with a friend and do come back again to watch this video because I shared a lot of tips as regards to you starting a business without using money and actually how to grow your business. I actually did 2 webinars at the same time, how to grow your business using capital. So thank you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for everybody that joined. And if you're coming back to watch this later on, do drop a comment. If you have any insights, drop. If you need help as regards to starting, growing, or scaling your business, your startup, you need a consultant, a coach to work with you, just to handhold you, basically to give you some insight and stuff. Yeah, you can send me a DM, right? My of course my contacts and on the link on this channel. So you could just send me a DM so that we can basically talk and see how we could basically help your business grow. So next week, Tuesday, you can catch me at mainland 98.3 between the hours of 11:30 to 12. I'll be talking about this same topic also too, and I'll be expanding more things. I'm taking live questions also too. And next week, Thursday, by the hour of 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. GMT plus one, we will be talking about how to become fundable. How do you reach a point whereby people can actually fund your business so you can attract investors, right? How to basically do all of those investors attractiveness. So I'm going to share that with us. And my commitment is to basically helping you grow your business. Thank you very much for joining this and do enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye bye.